Alright, welcome to the stream here, folks. This is Bad at Fighting Games presents a One Punch Combo, a fighting game podcast, episode 13. King of Fighters 15, TGS show, and Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl. I have no idea what the game's actually called, but we're seeing a lot of that. We're seeing the rollout of these games, so that's what we're majorly going to be hearing about. Especially while Guilty Gear is not going to be doing anything until October. Well, it is October, but it seems like their patching situation is the end of October, or the end of months. So we'll see if they hold to that. I know last time it was majorly dealing with Evo. So, but anyway, let's see. If you want to chat while the podcast is being streamed, you can join me live on Twitch at RaisinVman. But yeah, first, this is a monthly podcast, One Punch Combo. There's also filler episode, a weekly anime and manga podcast, so definitely check that out if that's something that interests you. And what we do on this podcast, we go over fighting game news and a little bit of tournaments at the end. So let's go ahead and test stream markers. We are golden there. And let's get into it. Game Informer brings us a story. Injustice Gods Among Us movie drops its first trailer. I believe we also got some more trailers after that. But yeah. Make sure that's also... Nope, I need to pause that. There we go. And again, we're going to get a lot of Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl stuff here. So Ren and Stimpy is confirmed. This is an official confirmation, by the way, because it leaked. The box art leaked, and I believe there were even more leaks than that. And so people knew what was coming, as is tradition for fighting games. We also got our... Really, we got to look at pretty much everybody. There are certain characters they still haven't given us a look at, but the release date, I think, is even next week or the week after, so they have to show us some stuff. We got a Patrick breakdown. Those are both Game Informer stories. Game Informer again. In-person Evo fighting game showcase canceled. I called this on the last show, or maybe even the show before that, but... COVID is not getting better in the US. In certain places it is, but it's gotten to the point to where they had to federally mandate it. And people are still acting nuts, which is why I am trying to get out of the United States. International teaching, don't let me down. But yeah, especially Nevada is not a great place to, and my coworker went to Nevada for his vacation, so that was fun. It seems like I cannot get away from people potentially infecting me. Nevada is not going to be a place to... I don't really know what place in the U.S. is going to be good for international... not internet. I heard my phone and that scrambled my brain. Good for in-person events. It's just not going to happen. Microsoft, and this was... maybe 6 months or a year ago, Microsoft had already said, we're not doing any events until 2023. And that's a smart thing to do. I know there's a lot of posturing, and people have said in terms of, especially with events, people need to have it canceled by the state so they can get their insurance and or money back. And I understand that, but still. Yeah. So Ren and Stimpy confirmed for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. This is a Jinx.tv story. Jinx with a G. So I was not sure about this because I haven't heard this, but I think Game Informer, that's mainly where I get my news from until I end up searching for fighting game news at the end of the month. You've got there's so much pop-ups on sites now. You had this leak that Sora was the final fighter for Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, reading this article on Jinx.com, there is nothing definitive. We have had some pretty good leaks before, but no one really knew about, say, Kazuya. At least, I'm not really into Smash, but I'm pretty sure people did not know Kazuya was the next fighter. And so looking at this article, so as always, we have to go to the unsavory depths of 4chan to find leaks like this. So there are some problems with the leaks and the fact that these are just images. This is not footage, and this could be a mod for Shulk. People are very creative about deep faking, yada yada nowadays. Um, So the 4chan poster suggested that they were from a reliable source for internal testing, but gave a timeline and said that final playtest for the next DLC fighters running right now, and Sora will be announced at the Game Awards. The last character of the Fighter Pass Volume 2 is supposed to arrive in December, so it's not too unrealistic for this to actually be true, but at the same time, this is 4chan, so not just a grain of salt, maybe like a small shot glass of salt to have this with. The first DLC character for Smash was announced at the Game Awards in 2018. So, you know, take that as you will in terms of if this is legit or not. Also considering this, that would be 2 Square Enix characters in Smash Bros. In 1 season pass. So, not to say that that is absolutely impossible. Yeah, but you know, we've heard tons of things that have went around and stuff unrealistic, like the Grinch, but also, you know, Doom Guy. So, it's kind of strange. Of course, Smash Bros is great and makes money now, so Square Enix is all about it. But prior, they were very cagey. You know, Cloud came with a stage and only a couple of tracks. So we'll see how that turns out. I am anti-Smash because that game is not meant to be played, and we'll go through some news about that in a tournament setting. But who knows? Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl is looking to maybe shake up the formula. PlayStation All-Stars really died before its time, huh? We also have another Jinx.tv article. The final Mr. Sakurai Presents showcase starts. This article doesn't have the date in the headline, so let me just. Yeah, so that's going to be October 5th, so you don't have too much longer to wait. That is Tuesday from recording. And in possibly the end, this is another Jinx.tv story, in the possible end to this very bizarre drama, Melee Pro Hacks apologizes to Leffen after comparing him to Hitler in the evidence.zip 2 video. This is one of the strangest stories if you haven't followed it. This has been going on for years now, by the way, if you are not paying attention to this. Apparently, a lot of this, from what Hacks is saying, Leffen has not acknowledged this apology, according to this article. If I'm understanding what the person has written here, I guess there was a metagame documentary, and it highlighted toxicity over accomplishments. It's not really clear if it's Leffen's accomplishments or if it's Hax's compliments. I'm guessing that Hax felt overshadowed and the documentary got changed due to Leffen. And that's sort of where the animosity started growing. We have another Jinx.tv article here. Nintendo shuts down 3 Smash events at Low Tide City. So there were 3 tournaments set to be played on modded versions of Smash 64, Melee, and Brawl, and those tournaments are no longer going to be there. And so, like I was saying, and like I've pretty much always said as long as I've done the show, Nintendo doesn't love the community that loves the competitive games. So as much as you love these characters and you may love this game, you might just be better off going with a different game like Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, where they actually want people to play and want people to stream it and aren't going to do weird tournament takedowns and stream takedowns. And, you know, Nintendo does not care about the, well, they sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. Like the time they did not want Evo to stream Melee. They ultimately, you know, the hardcore community, the fighting game community around Smash Bros is just a footnote to the massive sales and casual presence that Smash Bros attracts, which is not going to be the case for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, although it could become the case because, again, we're talking about a licensed property. Nick currently did not give Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl that much money. It's pretty evident in what they were doing. Like all the people who were dissing KOF15 for being ugly, they should be absolutely trashing Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl if they care. And so it's a situation of where the developers actually want to make a good game with Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl and want to. It's not their main goal, but definitely attract the hardcore player. I mean, this is a song and dance we've heard before. Capcom made 2 games that, well, one of them did die for it, but Street Fighter V didn't die. They tried to go esports and, you know, and ended up being to the detriment. Dead or Alive said they were going to do esports, and they kind of floundered and just went back to sort of your microtransaction fest. But Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl could be a very good deal. And ultimately, I know I'm rambling a bit, but there are games that and developers that actually want you to play their games and want you to compete in their tournaments. So I would be happy if even 0.01% of Smash players said, hey, this is kind of nuts. I love Smash, but let me move on to Samurai Showdown. Let me move on to Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, where they actually care about me as and what I'm doing. You know, that's why I stopped playing Capcom Fighters, because it was clear they wanted to do esports over everything else, and it's not like there's a lack of fighting games to get into. But yeah, that's pretty sad. But it's. Smash players like being in that abusive relationship with Nintendo. So, what do you say? What can you do? C'est la vie. Another Jinx.tv article, and I may have mentioned this last time, but it's worth bringing up again. Smash player fakes 51-man tournament win, immediately gets caught. I don't understand this because, especially in today's world, it doesn't really mean anything. If you actually were going to get something out of doing this, okay, I can understand that. But, you know, if you're going to enter an actual tournament, you're going to get blown up if you're doing that stuff. Apparently they were trying to run up their stats, some sort of Panda global stat system. Uh, yeah, so I'm trying to figure out who is the person. So Makoto, a Sheik main. I have not heard of them. I imagine that's a good reason. There's a good reason for that. Yeah, there's not even a location on one of these supposed tournaments they did. So very suspect. They got caught. Let's. We're going into .esports, bringing us some articles here. Not mean to do that. Oh, wow, I did not mean to press that. .esports article, Aang and Korra revealed for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. Again, these are official reveals. If you're paying attention to this stuff, then you know that they were leaked. .esports article again, Melty Blood type Lumina launches tomorrow, reveals Saber from Fate Stay Night as a final fighter. So enjoy that if that's something you're into. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl developers could add a voice after the game launches. Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl will include DLC fighters post-launch. I believe those well, actually, let me just go to the article. I believe those DLC fighters are actually free too. Oh, well, I can't see if they're free or not, but yeah, they do say 2 fighters. Now, of course, we're getting into leak and rumor territory, so it depends on how much you believe this stuff. But supposedly the game originally had 22 characters. There's only 20 for the launch roster, and there's 2 coming as DLC. So I know people feel a certain way about that type of thing. So feel however you will based on that. But yeah, they did this pretty long and informative interview. Well, they've done a number of interviews. They've really been putting out the red carpet, trying to get this game out there and let people see it and talk about it and everything, which is kind of refreshing because you get on the flip side with Guilty Gear, you have these very vague and bad trailers, and you sort of have to sit on the edge of your seat and speculate. Although, to be fair, Guilty Gear and Daisuke has been doing pretty good interviews. But yeah, going back to Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, they're saying they could add voices. I was a little bit surprised, but I did discuss this earlier in the video about how they don't really seem to have any money. There's some really bad animations in this game, and some of the characters look kind of strange. Part of it is because they're melding it all into one art style, and some of them actually do look pretty good. SpongeBob looks pretty good. Of course, he's the poster boy. The Loud kids look pretty good. It seems like they've translated their art style pretty well into this. But there is some missed animations. There is some skipped animations. There's some rough animations, but it does seem like what they're banking to do, and what they've said as much in the interview, is that they're hoping that the game is successful, and they've looked at the gameplay first. And of course, they only had so much budget, so it seems things like having voices for the characters, and the music, and the sound effects, and everything that you would want from a polished product that makes you feel fuzzy inside, but yes, besides gameplay, has kind of suffered. It does. Just speaking in general about the game, I don't really do Smash games. I don't really do arena games. But like I said earlier, they do actually want you to play this game, so that gets it plus points in my book. And they have talked about stuff they're doing differently from Smash, uh, and a number of things that they're doing. Like one is making it so that there aren't just arbitrarily hard things that players need to do. And of course, the biggest thing, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, these are this is one word you're going to recognize if you're anything familiar with Smash type games: wave dashing. They made sure to put in wave dashing. As I discussed earlier, Nintendo is sort of just flip floppy about whether they want competitive players to actually play their game, but putting wave dashing and letting people wave dash is a commitment to actually possibly supporting the competitive players that are sure to come to this game. I did find it really, really strange, and I don't fault the developers. Obviously, Nickelodeon has money. Actually, the strangest thing about this whole thing for me is learning that Nickelodeon has all these properties and they don't do anything with them. That is the strangest thing. I know more recently we've seen movies and properties go to Netflix, and they still have the Nickelodeon splash screens for like Avatar on Netflix. Because I'm going through Avatar right now because I thought I was a Billy Badass and too cool for the original Avatar. I did watch through Korra, but I thought I was too mature for Avatar when I was being an edgy teen. But yeah. I just thought it was kind of well, the fact that they have all these properties and they haven't done anything with them. That they're sitting on a gold mine. But more importantly, and on the topic of the article that we're talking about, the characters have no voices. Like even Nigel Thornberry, very distinctive voice. I believe it's what is the guy's name? Tim Curry. Nigel Thornberry is known for saying, smashing, all sorts of weird stuff. And, really having SpongeBob without even his signature laugh, I'm sure it's a situation of where they just need money, and it seems like they're banking on the second game or the DLC to, or well, rather the support they're going to get from having sales to fund DLC or fund a second game that's actually going to look and sound good. Uh, but it really was strange. Even the Lego games, back before they did the voices, they had samples from the movies and shows. You would think, excuse me, with Nickelodeon owning these these voices, I mean, I am 99% sure there were 10 episodes of SpongeBob played on Nick Today. So it's not like Tom Kenny's SpongeBob is some sort of forbidden resource. I don't know. Of course, I'm sure it's a money thing. Like maybe they say, sure, we can use the samples, but we have to pay the voice actors. And of course, it gets in the situation where certain voice actors are dead. I don't know the lady's name, but the Ublina from All Real Monsters, I believe she's dead. So, you would have to talk to her estate and everything like that. But I am really surprised they weren't even able to get samples or even stuff that isn't controversial, like character grunts. The characters are all very, very silent, and some of them have sound effects, and like Nigel Thornberry has animal noises, but it really just isn't the same. Of course, the fighting game community were very, but even just on a level with these characters and the cartoons, they're very known for their music, for their voice acting, their catchphrases. So it's kind of a big miss. I don't think it's the developer's fault. Nickelodeon has money and resources, but it is what it is. That's an unfortunate sentiment that we're going through with, it seems to be a theme for today. Another .esports article, Moist Esports signs, what is the name in the headline? It doesn't say. Whoops. Signs top Super Smash Bros. Ultimate player, Light. Another .esports article, Power Rangers battle for the grid to add Rita Repulsa, Adam Park, and Poisandra in season pass 4. And Rita Repulsa still has those boob cones. I don't even say that for like a perverted reason, but I guess you have to be true to the character, don't you? Moist Esports signs Goblin. That's another .esports article. .esports again. NetherRealm Studios still working on a fix for a 3-day long Injustice crash issue. So NetherRealm players are known to move on, but it seems like Injustice 2 was very, very broken. I don't know if it's fixed. I'm probably not going to find out for myself. So hopefully they fix that, because this article is from September 5th. Moving on, more .esports articles, and again, we're still seeing a really, really big rollout, which is kind of nuts because KOF15 was pushed back, so you would think they want to show less, but we have KOF15, we have TGS day 1 combos and a gameplay roundups, move lists, gameplay reveal trailer for K-Dash. Isla was revealed. She was already revealed because they did the launch trailer and she was in it, but she has a name and was detailed. Also, KOF98 UM Final Edition is going to be getting rollback netcode, so the rollback does not stop. Neo Geo Pocket Color Selection Volume 1 now on Steam. KOF15 Team Fatal Fury storyline reveal for SNK. SNK announces Kukri for King of Fighters 15. I don't know much about the character, but apparently he was the bad guy in SNK Heroines, and he's a pervert, so it probably should not be in the game. But also, he has this really weird animation where he's like spinning on the stripper pole, and it looks kind of bad. People are saying King of Fighters 15 looks good, but that did not look great to me. King of Fighters 15, Sacred Treasures, Team Sacred Treasures storyline revealed. Also, speaking of King of Fighters and something that was recently released for the public, it was actually released if you were a subscriber, a Patreon subscriber a while ago. Kane and Rince, they're a video game podcast. They did a podcast on the KOF series. It was featuring Hell Pockets and Ryan Hart. Ryan Hart had to dip out pretty early, so you should check that out if you are interested in the King of Fighters series, and that was a pretty good listen. They sort of go more into the history of things, and they have a really good grasp on that. It's not necessarily about King of Fighters 15, though it does come up. And if you want to see them answer read off my really long impression of King of Fighters, I am on, I'm not on, but my question / submission was featured on that show. So if you ever want to see what my written word is like, I guess you can go over there. But yeah, that was pretty good. The Kane and Rince podcast. I actually recommend them wholeheartedly. But moving on. Another Fighters Generation article this time. New Bandai Namco patent may hint at Tekken 8 tutorial mode. Another Fighters Generation article. Street Fighter 3 Alpha Vinyl soundtrack collection by Laced Records announced. Pre-orders are live. They recently did that with Street Fighter 3, I think. Except I'm trying to size down, and I don't have a record player, so it doesn't make sense for me to grab that. But there it is if you'd like to do that. Another Fighters Generation article. Marvel vs. Capcom 2 remaster discussion between Capcom and Disney has reportedly begun. I don't want to spend too long on this because I've already talked about how badly Capcom screwed up Marvel vs. Capcom with Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I don't really think that Capcom should have the license to it anymore. But you have Maximilian pushing for free Marvel vs. Capcom 2. And actually, we see some skins for Marvel vs. Capcom 2 that we'll get into. Well, I don't think I actually put them in the news items here, but there are some skins: Ruby Heart for Rose and Cyber Akuma from the Versus series, and they're being put into Street Fighter V. So clearly, they do have an eye on this stuff. This may be a situation like where Disney was sort of weaponizing the public to say, oh no, Tom Holland's Spider-Man is going to be Sony only, please help us fans, and kind of absolute bullshit like that. But at the end of the day, maybe we can get Marvel vs. Capcom 2. Will we get Marvel vs. Capcom 4? I really don't think so. I really don't think they're going to be trusted with that IP, that amount of money, especially when it seems like their relationships with Square Enix and I'm forgetting the studio, but the Firaxis, who did Midnight Suns. Square Enix, although Avengers was crap, Guardians of the Galaxy seems like it's going to be much better because they aren't trying to do everything. Also, before I forget, there is a What Happened by Matt McMuscles on Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite and Street Fighter V, so you should check that out and see why Capcom should not be trusted with Marvel properties. But yeah, I don't really think that's going to happen. I mean, we could see Marvel vs. Capcom 2, but I really don't think Capcom deserves it. And it's kind of sad because as a whole, Capcom is very, very good as a company. They're centered on money, and I guess full disclosure, I do have Capcom stock. Also, I have Nintendo stock, but I've been talking nothing but shit about them. They've been very money focused and they've been very successful, Capcom, but they've neglected their fighting games. We've talked about this before, but Ono is gone, and if you believe the rumors, he was very difficult to work with. So maybe it's a situation that where he's gone and they've backed off of the esports angle, they can sort of go into Street Fighter 6, which they've actually talked about, go into Street Fighter 6 with a better perspective and less ridiculous nonsense. Another Fighter Generation story, iconic Street Fighter 2 artist Mick McGinty has passed away. I believe he also did like the Streets of Rage art, or I remember something else. I'm always listening to Super Darky's channel where he has these really old box arts on there. Apparently passed from cancer. Yeah, okay, so he did do Streets of Rage 2 and 3. Kid Chameleon, Shining Force. You know, you shouldn't speak ill of the dead, but some of that stuff was pretty hilarious, but apparently he was still trying to improve and everything like that. And it was suitable for the time. I mean, definitely can draw better than I can. Another Fighter Generation article. Capcom art director shared early Marvel's series 2D sprites, concepts, and sketches. I always find stuff like this kind of cool, so you may want to check that out. And we're moving into Event Hub story. Most of these are going to be Event Hub stories from now on, so I'm not going to attribute them just for the sake of me not having to take another drink of sparkling water, or too many drinks rather. Temple character usage provides an interesting look at how the offline meta may be developing in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So the top 64 character usage, the top two, you have Wolf and Diddy Kong. It's not surprising. Well, Wolf's a little bit surprising, but I think he's much better in this game. But I've been off of Smash for a long while. And you have Kazuya, K. Rool, Dr. Mario, Ryu, and Terry at the bottom. Always interesting to look at stats like that. Grand Blue Fantasy versus 2.62 patch notes released. There's now a fan-made Among Us fighting game, and that's on itch.io. It's Among Us Arena, if you are interested in that. Akira was the second most popular character used last month, and Oro wasn't far behind in Street Fighter V August 2021 stats. These stats aren't really broken down all that well. So I guess we'll just have to go off the headline then. Sonic Soul releases new tier list for Guilty Gear Strive, but fears the game is becoming stale. Very interesting tier list, but I've been out of Guilty Gear for a while. I guess I didn't mention on this podcast, but I haven't really done anything fun for like 1.5 weeks because I've been applying to get into teaching programs because I did not get into the one that I wanted. But yeah, anyway, Sonic Soul's tier list here. S plus characters that remove interaction, which is a horrible thing to hear and sort of hurts my heart. But anyway, these characters are Leo, Nagoriyuki, Soul, Ramlethal, Chip, and Potemkin. And S is the next tier down, characters that are consistent. Gio, Giovanna, Milia, May, Axel, Zato. A plus because people don't lab the matchup. Very true. I am horrible against. We have Jacko and Ino here. Eno rather. Excuse me. I am completely helpless against Eno, but nobody's expecting me to perform. A is generally weak characters. You have Kai, Angie, and Gold Lewis, and B is trash, which is Faust. Gold Lewis below Faust. Gold Lewis above Faust, rather. That is shocking, but this is a shocking tier list. Very interesting there. Steve is surprisingly one of the most popular characters of Riptide in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Riptide top 64, you have Rob at the top with Steve right below. And at the bottom, you have a Rosalina, Cloud, Pac-Man, Lucina, and Ken. Secret details for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl that have only been revealed by the developers behind the scenes in Discord. So somebody named Monarch put a lot of these secret details in a single video. Command grabs will work a bit differently how they do in Brawl. I mean, not Brawl, excuse me. That is a mental slip up there, definitely. Smash Bros. Ultimate. Moves that are capable of achieving similar functionality of a murder-suicide, which is to say you kill yourself and you kill your opponent. In this game, the grab player will always die first. So this is something that really pissed me off about Smash, and why a big reason I stopped playing Smash. Just to go into it a little bit, I know I've already been on a number of rants in this video, so I don't want to waste too much time. But Sakurai does not like big characters. K. Rool was nerfed right after he was introduced in Ultimate, which I knew was going to happen. Bowser, who used to be able to do his side B and kill people, was that turned into a punishment for Bowser if he were to murder suicide with his side B. But in this game, they see that if you are murder suiciding someone, you should be rewarded the point, which is awesome. I don't know. I may consider this game. I am a big fan of Korra. You know, I have my history with Nicktoons and everything, but who knows? It has rollback netcode, so it's accomplished. Even though it is probably a lesser game than Smash Bros. Ultimate, it has accomplished the things that Nintendo refuses to acknowledge. So there's going to be an audience for that. There's no invincibility on air dashes. You can't roll our spot dodge and block. You can roll on a quick get up or get up though. Rollback netcode is only going to be on certain platforms. And they're saying that more than likely the Nintendo Switch version is only going to have rollback in one versus one. Kind of a strange one here, but it's not too out of the ordinary. Actually, one of these, what they're talking about here, was in one of the videos. I watched Max when he was watching Maximilian when he was watching the breakdowns, and Dog of Cat Dog catches his own projectile, and he says if you're fast enough, you can catch your own projectile. So it seems like you have a optional command in the form of Patrick's command grab special, and it gets stronger if you actually do it 360. Oof, that's getting my blood pumping hearing about command grabs and 360ing. So yeah, some interesting stuff there. Again, developers who want this game to succeed from a gameplay standpoint. Number one ranked Anji player doesn't think his biggest buff really amounted to much, but it's all from bad. Mentioned Matt McMuscles earlier, but Matt McMuscles did a what happened on Soul Calibur 5, and it's pretty damning. Unfortunately, that's not the first time we've seen a bad Soul Calibur story. Soul Calibur 3 still has, as far as I know, a bug that can completely delete your save. So there are some people who say that Bandai Namco doesn't want Soul Calibur to succeed, and considering Soul Calibur 5 and Soul Calibur 3, they just might be right. Even Soul Calibur, what are we on, 6, 7, was not really planned to have DLC until they saw how much it sold. Punk releases a new tier list for Street Fighter V with 5 characters in the pointless category. So in the S tier, for the games that have much more characters, we're not going to go over the entire tier list. Stuff with small amount of characters like Guilty Gear Strive, we can go over all of them. But in the S tier, at the top, you have Rashid, Dhalsim, Poison, Cammy, Irian, and Zeku. And in the pointless tier, which is the bottom tier, you have Lucia, Nash, Zangief, Nikali, and Blanca. How the mighty have fallen. Even Dan is the second above the pointless. 2 tiers above the pointless tier. How far has Seth fallen? Xian shares his updated matchup chart for Street Fighter V's previously most popular pocket character. So that's up there if you like to check that out on Event Hubs. Phantom Breaker Omnia is delayed to a new year and it won't have rollback netcode. So the story of this game is kind of amazing, but that's bad news, doubly so for not having rollback netcode, as is something you're going to need in this modern fighting game environment. This original PlayStation icon almost became a Mortal Kombat character, according to Ed Boon. And the character he's talking about is Kratos. Also says that Sweet Tooth has been close to being a guest character in Mortal Kombat games. Wait, I'm confused. What's... Okay, wait, no. I am super confused. Okay, the article is saying that this is why I don't like Event Hub stuff, and partly why I do this podcast, to get the news to you. So, Twist, rather, Sweet Tooth has almost been in Mortal Kombat. It was almost him and not Kratos. Okay, there we go. The Kami Army appeared in Capcom Pro Tour 2021, Japan's 2's top 64, but couldn't break above 25th place. So there were a whopping 7. Normally you see 6, but a whopping 7 Kamis at this tournament. And on the opposite end, you had Zero, Nakali's E Honda, Blanca, Alex, Fong, and Kage. Luke's additional costumes revealed for Street Fighter V. Next big balance patch update delayed to 2022. Hungrybox releases his tier list for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate version 12. So top 5, you have Pura and Mithra, Pikachu, Joker. Must be nice being top tier for your entire life of a game, Joker. God damn. Shulk and Pokemon Trainer. Bottom tier, Ganondorf and Little Mac. And I could say the opposite for Little Mac. He has been at the... I know nobody actually watches this show, but has Little Mac ever done anything or been good? I know Ganondorf is kind of good in certain players' hands in certain games. French Bread is preparing next installment of Under Night in Birth, according to studio manager Nobuya Narita. Next up, we have the an interesting one, character learning curve tier list for Street Fighter V Champion Edition, created by Smug, Psycho, and Shine. So most difficult, you have Minot and Dan, and least difficult, E Honda, Dowsum, Armika. I can vouch for that as a former Armika player. Laura, Abigail, and Birdie. So that's interesting. That could be really helpful for people who aren't too sure what they're doing. So we talked about this a little bit before, but we get some more information on it now. Super Smash Bros. 64 mod Smash Remix adds Mewtwo and Marth to the roster, showcased by epic polygonal trailers. Very interesting. And again, it's a situation of where Nintendo does not love you. Why are you in love with someone who doesn't love you and doesn't want to support you? But that's what fans do. They love unconditionally in a toxic relationship sometimes. Super Smash Bros. Wrong word. I missed a letter. Super Smash Bros. Pro Hungrybox creates early pre-release Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl tier list. And there is no image of this, only a video, so I will not be clicking on it. But anyway, you may be surprised to know, since it was pre-release and premature, that it isn't all encompassing. And also, he ended up doing another one, and this is also a video, so I can't tell you what's in it. But the gist of this, even though it's slightly a joke, is Nigel Thornberry was at the bottom, and then his gameplay was revealed, and now he's at the top. I am 40% sure, I don't follow Smash, that Hungrybox is a Jigglypuff player, and so Nigel Thornberry has a lot in common with Jigglypuff, so he put him at the top and is interested in him now. But moving on, Oral's fast fall glitch tech removed in the latest Street Fighter V update. Here are the patch notes for version 6.040. Red Arsukuid, it's not a real word, please don't hate me for that, revealed to be Melty Blood type Lumina's final character. New Marvel vs. Capcom documentary explores 20 years of hype and rivalries across the competitive community. This documentary is called Victory, the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 Community, which is a weird name, but do what you gotta do. There is no release date, and I'm not seeing where this person is releasing it, though the trailer is on YouTube. King J made a Rage Drive tier list for Tekken 7 Season 4, so that might be interesting for those of you who like to tune into that. Laura, Irian, and Ken should probably earn their honorary Brit badges, judging by their Capcom Pro Tour usage. So top 32, you had 4 Lauras, 3 Urians, 3 Kens, 3 Bison, 3 Ibuki, and you had 0 Akira, 0 Blanca, 0 Armika. A bit surprising considering people are really big on Akira right now. PlayStation's Big in Japan sale offers great discounts for Street Fighter V Season 5 Pass, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus, and more. Yeah, and this sale is still going on. Normally, since this is a monthly show, we might miss out on this, but it lasts until October 6th, so you can still make good on this if you'd like to. Street Fighter V Champ, I'm only going to go over what stuff is discounted, not necessarily a price. That's going to be too much to say, but here we go. Street Fighter V Champion Edition, Street Fighter V Champion Edition Upgrade Kit, Street Fighter V Season 5 Character Pass, Street Fighter V Season 5 Premium Pass, Street Fighter V Season 5 Capcom Pro Tour 2020 Pass, Tekken 7 Ultimate Edition, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. Grand Blue Fantasy Versus Character Pass set is a whopping $56. Jeez. Grand Blue Fantasy Versus Character Pass 1, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus Character Pass. Why are their Character Passes so expensive? I know I said I wouldn't go over the price, but Character Pass 1 is $21 and Character Pass 2 is $24. I hope whoever likes this game or this property is okay with paying these prices, because goddamn. Dragon Ball Fighter Z, Dragon Ball Fighter Z Ultimate Edition, Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite Deluxe Edition, don't buy that. Guilty Gear Zerd Rev 2, that actually was given away for like $1 on Humble Bundle. There was a big set of sales ramping up to Guilty Gear Strive, so I mean, grab it if you really want to, but otherwise you're probably better off waiting for a sale or just grabbing Strive. King of Fighters 2002 Unlimited Match, BlazBlue Central Fiction, Samurai Showdown Neo Geo Collection, SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy, all on sale. There's some season passes in there and DLC in there, as I said, so you may want to check that out. Cloud 805 releases final Dragon Ball Fighters tier list. Yeah, so the top tier, we'll actually go over the top 2 tiers because there's only one character in the top tier. Top tier is Bad Bitch, Android 21, who apparently can only be matched by level 7 Gohan. I guess that's adult Gohan, because that's the only one that can level up. Right under that, we have S tier, which is and the top 3 here are ordered. Nothing else is ordered. You have OG Brawly. I am horrible at this, so just forgive me if I get it wrong. We have Vegito, Super Saiyan Blue, Base Vegeta. Super Saiyan 4 is, I think that's the fusion. It's the only Super Saiyan 4 in the game. I know that much. We have Vegito, Gotenks, Teen Gohan, and Base Goku. They really improved the base characters. Jeez. At the bottom, we have Super Saiyan Vegeta, Yamcha, and Trunks. So Vegeta has definitely fallen. Jeez. Super Saiyan Vegeta, that is. I guess with all the assists, all the new assists opening up, he's really going to have trouble being useful as he was. Yeah, but that's interesting. Definitely they shook it up with this latest patch then. Glitch 8.5 spread of character usage was ridiculous for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, but who was most popular? Top 64, you have Rob taking the top spot with 4 players playing him. Joker, 3 players. Zero Suit Samus, same thing. Wolf, same thing. Mr. Game & Watch, King DDD. Incineroar, 3 players. All of them 3 players except for Rob. Interesting seeing Incineroar so highly played. I haven't really seen him mentioned or anything. And at the bottom, you have Me Brawler, Rosalina, Bad Joe Kazooie, and Me Sword Fighter with 0 picks. These solid gold Street Fighter 2 30th anniversary coins are out of most fans' price range, but there are cheaper options. Excuse me, geez, sorry. Giving you some unintended ASMR stuff there. And the ones that are not expensive are going to be the silver ones. So a certain BlazBlue title may be on the next on the list to receive rollback netcode from Arc System Works. So last time we saw this with R+, Guilty Gear R+, it got a beta branch, and we're seeing that again with BlazBlue. So again, rollback, much like Thanos, is inevitable, it seems. Topanga released a Street Fighter V V-Trigger tier list, puts Akira's V-Trigger 2 as one of the best in the game. Latif releases a pre-October patch tier list for Guilty Gear Strive. And SS, Leo, Soul, May. Leo probably did not need to be buffed, which is what he got from the last patch we got. May, I think got both buffed and nerfed. Soul was untouched, so, well, he still had been touched, but we are expecting an October patch to deal with him. In the S tier, we have Ram, Nago, Chip, Geo. Chip was nerfed a little bit, so that may be why he's not in SS. Yeah, I mean, fine, sure. A tier, you have Potemkin, Axel, Zato, Gold Lewis. It's funny, this is the second tier list where we see Gold Lewis. I guess this is a slight spoiler, but who cares? Gold Lewis is above Faust. Jacko, Kai, and Milia at the A tier. In the B tier, you have Faust and Anjimito. I guess people are really getting okay with Gold Lewis and not dismissing him anymore. Very interesting stuff. Toph revealed as a new character for Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. Again, that was known, but it was leaked and not necessarily known for sure, officially. That's where I was going with that. Larry Lure creates new tier list for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate version 12. And this is a lot less segmented than the other tier list we saw. This is a pretty big S tier, so we'll just go over S tier, and it's the lowest tier here is B tier and lower. So let's just go over the S tier. S tier, Roy from Fire Emblem. I say that because there's technically another Roy in the game, although you probably don't care. Fox, Pyrrha and Mithra, Minecraft Steve, Sonic, Pokemon Trainer, Mario, one of the Mii's, I don't know which one, I'm never going to know. Wario, Zero Suit Samus, Sephiroth, Game & Watch, Dragon Quest Hero, Sheik, I was going to say Rosalina, but that's Daisy. That's a different princess. So Daisy, Min Min, Lucina, go Lucina, Shulk, Wolf, Joker, Pikachu, Diddy Kong, Inkling, Rob, Pac-Man, Solid Snake. I was about to say Solid Suit Samus, but Solid Snake, and Palutena. So interesting stuff there, but this was a little bit after the last tier list that we saw, so it may be that people are getting more into the weeds of who is S tier and everything like that. And just checking out viewers here. Thanks for tuning in. Feet, another TV viewer. And it seems like everybody else from the earlier stream, filler episode and anime and manga podcast stuck around, so thank you for staying tuned. Again, we already knew this, but Aang and Korra joined Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. I'm slightly hyped for Korra, but again, I'm not playing Smash clones, Smash likes, but who knows, I may be tempted. Tekken 7 currently has an issue where Rage Arts can cause a match to end prematurely. Bandai Namco is working on it. And so that was October 1st. So you may have to watch out for that. As far as I know, that is still not fixed. Bandai Namco has at least figured it out. Seems like it's on Steam. And again, with game problems and bugs, there's Guilty Gear Strive Slowdown. As far as I can tell from this Event Hub's article, it's based off of super sampling on PS4. PS4 Pro, if I remember correctly, is the tournament standard. So that is going to be a problem if there's going to be slowdown on the preferred platform, which is where they're doing their tournaments. Yeah, that is a huge problem. Guilty Gear team Arc System Works has been pretty good about fixing things with Guilty Gear and being responsive, so hopefully they'll handle this, because you know, with Evo, it being online, people might not necessarily have taken that seriously, but this is kind of nuts if there's just going to be slowdown period on the game, and you might run into people eventually taking advantage of the fact that there's going to be slowdown. So it's brought on by super sampling on the PS4, and from what this person is saying, there is somebody, actually let me pull up the Event Hub's article so I can credit them. What this person is saying is all they have to do is turn off super sampling on PS4. Sonic, spelled S-A-U, not the blue hedgehog. Yeah, this person played the same replay, or I guess this replay is actually causing the slowdown, on PS4 Fat, PS4 Pro super sampling off, PS4 Pro super sampling on. And when the super sampling is on PS4 Pro, the slowdown happens 100% of the time. So either they're going to have every single tournament turn off super sampling on PS4s, or they're going to have to fix this. And seems like one option is the smart thing to do. That being said, if you've been paying attention to Guilty Gear Strive, or just in general this show, Guilty Gear Strive has had its share of issues, which they've tried to fix. You know, they've even made it so there's less frame delay on the PS4 and PS5 versions, which is super awesome. But yeah, we've ended our news segment here, so we're actually going to go into tournament stuff now. Let's see. And this is a Jinx.tv article. MK Leo overcomes Tweak to win Smash Ultimate Major Riptide. And this is another Jinx.tv article. IBDW wins Riptide first offline Melee Major since 2020. .esports article, beyond the summit to host a Nickelodeon All-Star Brawls tournament on main stage. So we're already seeing this game in the tournament setting. We really have to see if it can go ahead and do what it needs to in terms of rollback, in terms of being a competitive game. But we're really seeing the wheels hit the pavement here, so we'll see soon enough. .esports again, Panda to host a Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl charity event featuring Ludwig, Critical, and more. Jinx.tv article again, Esam wins Glitch 8.5 over MK Leo, so you sort of have some back and forth between these two people. Actually, I'm sorry, not the two people, but MK Leo is going back and forth rather. .esports, another article from them. Arc System Works announces Arc Revo 2021 schedule with Guilty Gear Strive as the only featured title. So that kind of sucks if you are into any of Arc System Works' other games, but it is a rollback world, and unfortunately, we don't have rollback on. I am blanking on these games' names, and I'm sorry. BlazBlue, Grand Blue, but we do have rollback on Strive. I guess we have a rollback on R+, but maybe they thought it wasn't pretty enough to take on Tor. I don't know. And we're moving into the Event Hub stories again, so I'm not going to credit each and every one of them. But Battle Communication 3-on-3 results are up on Event Hubs. Justin Wong and Roundhouse competed in a huge $10,000 Marvel vs. Capcom 2 money match. The results are not in the article. Damn it, Event Hubs, but the replay is up there if you like to check that out. Temple Hermes Edition results are up. Fav Cup Online 2021 results are up. Tekken Online Challenge 2021 Middle East Masters results are up. Capcom Pro Tour 2021. Let me make sure. They're still up. Capcom Pro Tour 2021 Japan 2 results are up. Dragon Ball FighterZ World Championship Tenkaichi Online Master Challenge US West results are up. Twitch Rivals Guilty Gear Strive Team Showdown results are up. Tekken Online Challenge 2021 South of Africa Masters results are up. Smash World Tour Europe Ultimate Regional Finals results are up. Dragon Ball FighterZ World Championship Tenkaichi Online Master Challenge Europe 2 results are up. Capcom Pro Tour 2021 UK/Ireland 1 results are up. Tekken Online Challenge 2021 Southeast Asia Online Masters results are up. Dragon Ball FighterZ World Championship Tenkaichi Online Master Challenge Europe 4 results are up. Tekken Online Challenge 2021 South Asia Master results are up. Capcom Pro Tour 2021 Central America West 2 live stream featuring Kusanagi, MJ Gama, Grand Todakai, Doomsnake, Jazdero, Zero, Mech 7, MK Gus, El Tigre, and more are up. Dragon Ball FighterZ World Championship Tenkaichi Online Master Challenge Japan featuring live stream featuring Aqua, there's a C in there, Nokoze, Cero, Potential 16, and more is up. Tekken Online Challenge 2021 Philippines and East Asia Online Masters live stream featuring Maru, Mats, Hapan, Lucky Fighter, Desarata, Tokimon, and more is up. And that's it. As always, thanks for tuning in, folks. This is a monthly podcast. One Punch Combo, a fighting game podcast. We also have a weekly podcast, filler episode, and anime and manga podcast, which is weekly. One Punch Combo you can expect on the first Saturday of every month. Filler episode you can expect weekly on Saturdays. And there's also Stock Gacha, a video game stock podcast, which will be appearing sporadically. Episode 2 is coming on that one, but there is no commitment to that, so you just have to look out for it. If you want to Chat, while this is being streamed, this is going to be on Twitch. This ends up on YouTube eventually after the 24-hour incubation period. There's a 24-hour Twitch exclusivity period, so we can't interfere with that, but it'll be on YouTube. But YouTube does not pay me. Twitch does pay me, so please tune into Twitch. If we get the YouTube stats up enough, it'll be worth it, but right now it definitely is not. And again, thanks for tuning in. It says we have 6 viewers, even though it's only showing 2. So that's great. It's definitely more than we've had, and the YouTube viewing time is up. So that's also something else that's great. But as always, we'll be back, and thanks for tuning in.